A few days ago, I was trying to track RAM prices online because thanks to AI gobbling up every memory chip on the planet, a 64 gigabyte kit that used to cost around $200 last year is now sitting at $900, 4 times the price in just a few months. I wanted price history, price alerts, anything. The website had absolutely none of that. So I did what any self-respecting developer would do. I tried to code it, and in the next 4 minutes, you're going to learn exactly how. Before we write a single line of code, let me explain what web scraping actually is, because it sounds scarier than it is. Every website you visit is really just a text document with tags wrapped around everything. Your browser reads those tags and turns them into the pretty interface you see. Web scraping is just reading that text document yourself, programmatically, and pulling out only the data you need. That's literally the whole idea. Now for the tools. We're using Python because we're not masochists, and we only need 2 libraries. The first is requests, which goes and fetches a web page the same way your browser does, but without any of the visual fluff. The second is beautifulsoup, which takes that raw web page and lets you navigate through it like a GPS for data. You install both in one line in your terminal, import them at the top of your file, and that is the entire setup. The next step is to actually grab a web page. For this tutorial, we're using books.toscrape.com, which is a sandbox site built specifically for people learning to scrape. So there are no terms of service concerns and nothing will break. You write one line that sends a request to the URL and you check the status code that comes back. Status code 200 means it said, come on in. Status code 403 means it just slammed the door in your face. If you go ahead and print the raw response, you'll see a wall of HTML flooding your terminal. It looks like absolute chaos. But don't panic, because that's exactly what the next step fixes. Here's where it gets fun. You open DevTools in your browser. Right-click on any book title on the page and hit Inspect. What you'll see is that every single book title is wrapped inside the exact same HTML tag. That's the pattern you're looking for. Once you spot that pattern, beautifulsoup lets you grab every single instance of it across the entire page in one shot, like a magnet pulling the data you want out of all that noise. You loop through each result, pull out the title and the price, and print them. Run that script and watch your terminal light up with clean, structured book data. Every title, every price, line by line. You just built a working scraper in about 10 lines of Python. Okay, printing to a terminal is satisfying, but it's not exactly useful. So the last step is saving your data to a CSV file. Python has a built-in CSV module, which means no extra installs. You open a new file, write a header row, loop through your scraped data the same way you did before, and write each result as a row. Then you open that file, and instead of a wall of terminal text, you have a clean, organized spreadsheet with a title column and a price column, ready to be filtered, sorted, shared, or dropped into any analysis tool you want. Now, everything we just built works perfectly on a friendly site like this one. But when you take scraping into the real world, you're gonna run into 3 bosses. The first is pagination, when your data is spread across dozens of pages and you need to scrape all of them automatically. The second is JavaScript rendering, when the content you want only appears after JavaScript runs and your basic request can't see it at all. For those two, look into Playwright and Scrapey, and I'll leave links in the description. But the third boss is IP blocking, and in 2026, it is especially brutal. Sites have gotten significantly smarter. Rate limiting is aggressive, and a single IP address just doesn't cut it anymore. Now, the best solution I've personally found for that IP blocking problem is Data Impulse, the sponsor of today's video. Data Impulse offers more than 90 million residential IPs across 195 locations worldwide. No middlemen, so fewer blocks, lower price. And to show you an example, I will use Data Impulse to scrape GitHub's trending page. I only need to copy my credentials from the dashboard and input them into this code I got from their website. And that's it. And speaking of prices, this is what really got me hooked. It's $1 for 1 gigabyte of residential proxies. No monthly fees, no expiry on your traffic. You pay for what you use when you use it. Mobile proxies are $2 per gig, and there are discounts if you're buying in bulk. You also get rotating and sticky sessions that you can manually set up to 120 minutes, plus support for both HTTP and SOCKS 5 protocols. And if you ever need help, their support team is real people, available 24/7. So if you're done getting your IP blocked every time, check out Data Impulse. Link is in the description. This was Codehead with yet another tech rant. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. Lights out.